it's pretty crazy, honestly. We hit a couple of patches that was pretty much preparing for like landing. Try to hit it at full speed and slowing down to get it through it. It's just so much Sargassum. It's insane. I think it's for everybody, so we just need to make through it, I guess. But you can see on deck and everywhere. It's just everywhere. Yeah, feeling a bit of a farmer. Speed is your friend most of the time. Like if you hit it at full speed, it's almost like clear by itself, and you know the foil is not a big deal. It seems that it cleared by itself pretty well. We have a keel camera to check the keel, and it seems also the keel is doing a okay job. The hardest part are the rudder, because I think it gets kind of stuck there. So fortunately, unless you're not hitting at full speed, it's a full reset, and we already had to do a couple of few back downs and putting the rudders up and down and clearing up. So, and it's not always fun, but it is what it is. Sometimes it's kind of fun too, like when you get hit by a wave of sargassum instead of water. It's kind of great. New belts? Huh? New belts? They get new belts? Yeah. I guess new belts.
Been a hindrance to competition, certainly. We have a keel camera, works great during the day. It has a light, but isn't as effective at night, so we can see if we have anything on our appendages, but we can also see just the sheer amount of it that's going by in the water. Sometimes we see that we have Sargasso on our appendages, sometimes it's just a hunch, and we have the ability to kick up our rudders and clear those, so that's easy. We got a good visual of the keel. We can go outside, we can check the foil, prop shafts a little bit, who knows. So we've actually had to back down. As you can see just here, Sargasso back down. It was about to become 4. Good to do mentally, when you're not going well, but then, you also see all this stuff come off and you check the keel camera and confirm that it was a good idea. It's been a big topic of conversation around these parts, but everybody is sailing through this same patch of water and everybody's got to deal with it. So that's that. This last one was actually very interesting because we actually put Damien in the water. We jumped off the back of the boat as we were backing down. We intentionally slowly ran him over so that he could get to the prop and clear it, and then stuck his head out the side, grabbed a rope and knocked back in. But it's always interesting out here, and Sargasso has been a topic of conversation basically as soon as we hit the equator. So
then the Italian, you got nice new dress shorts, you just got
well, the way
first opportunity, fucking, I'll go over the splash.
It was the boxers. I had my day 8 boxers. They're nice and dry. Well, they were.
What do you see down there?
Deep blue. Deep blue. Sunlight going.
Well, it's a stretch of water most sailors know pretty well, and we're all very used to seeing Sargasso in the Sargasso Sea, but we find ourselves really far east far more east than traditionally or historically in this race. And what's interesting is there's still a lot of it out here, and not the big kind of mats and floating islands, but just a never-ending row and row and row of Sargasso. And before we left Itajaí, we looked at a satellite picture that showed this huge plume, bigger than ever, going from West Africa all the way to the Caribbean, which is kind of what we're transiting right now. And under normal circumstances, Sargasso is like the sort of floating equivalent of a rainforest. It's a haven and a habitat to all kinds of marine sea life, things like turtles, mahi-mahi, like the crab Sebastian we had on board the other day. But when it gets really thick, a lot of the times they have a hard time getting to the surface, you know, and particularly the ocean breathing variety, they can get a little suffocated. And not a problem out here, but when you get closer to shore, it blocks sunlight that a lot of creatures and life on the bottom of the sea really need. So some of it is good, too much of it is not a good thing. And one explanation they have for why there's so much this year is the increase in sea surface temperature. And another thought is that between the Congo and the Amazon, there's a lot more nitrogen and fertilizer in the rivers, a lot more storms, so the rivers are flowing into the ocean at a bigger capacity. But whatever it is, we're definitely noticing more of it out here. And not ideal for our racing, but it's still cool to be amongst it, recognizing that it does have an immense value to life in the middle of the ocean. And it's a problem everyone's dealing with.